This week on Instant Experts, Albo's T-shirt brings joy and division.
And unknown pleasures.
Indeed. That was the name of the album, wasn't it?
It was.
The White House website gets an update.
And start smoking the crack pipe.
And spring fever is in the air as Instant Experts listeners look for love in all the right places.
It's our most interactive episode yet.
Also possibly our longest honk. There's so much craziness at the moment, this one could go for a week.
It's true.
Welcome back to Instant Experts Melbourne Cup Week edition. It's all the latest news explained by idiots, here to keep you sane in a crazy world. I'm Henry Lee, and as always, I'm here with my dear friend, the Honk. Honky, welcome.
Henry, my dear friend, great to be here. And appropriately enough for Melbourne Cup Week, we are in our Melbourne studio.
Yes, although they're renovating the house next door, Honky, so if you hear a hammer or a circular saw, just act natural.
Or Mix FM playing the greatest hits of the 80s, 90s and now. I'm just going to pretend I'm in Gaza or Portland, 985.
Indeed, that is exactly the radio station the builders are playing.
Totally. Anyway, what a week. We do say it every week. This is a show about crooks, fuckwits and morons. Now, one of the things we've talked about a lot on this show is US companies shamelessly pandering to the crooks, fuckwits and morons in the Trump administration. But this is a new low. I mean, I've never seen anything this craven. This is a new guitar pedal from an American company. And I think we're pretty sure it has been designed to sound exactly like the US Health Secretary, RFK Jr. Have a listen.
That is superb. That is too good. Now, Honk, what about this week? What controversies of note caught your eye?
Well, as you said, a world full of craziness and a world full of real issues, but I have to go with one of the smallest controversies I've ever seen. And I speak, of course, of the Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese, Albo, in the Joy Division T-shirt gate.
Go on.
So Albo, as he's known in Australia, has just come back from this largely successful summit with Trump in the US, long international trip, long overnight flight on the Prime Minister's private government plane. He comes off the plane onto the tarmac wearing jeans and a Joy Division T-shirt.
Joy Division being the English new wave band of the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, well, you'd think, especially since, as we know, Albo's almost certainly an actual fan, given his age, and he's a guy in his, early 60s?
60s,
yeah. It plays into his cool Albo, Triple J, Australian radio vibe that attracts the kids, the 20-something part of his Labor Party base. And the T-shirt showed the actual cover of a Joy Division album, an album that, as you said, was famously titled Unknown Pleasures.
Right, except
the leader of the Conservatives in Australia, the Liberal Party, Sussan Ley.
The current leader of the Liberal Party, you mean?
Yeah, the immediate future former leader of the Liberal Party, the one who's playing the tomato can role that Brendan Nelson did post John Howard, warming the seat till the inevitable leadership spill heading into the next election.
Right, so what did Sussan Ley do in relation to the T-shirt?
Well, she tried to use it to tie Albo to the Nazis.
What?
So, as you probably know, Joy Division, the band, is named after Joy Division, the Thing.
Right.
Now, Joy Division, the Thing was a large group of female sex slaves, mostly Jewish but not exclusively, corralled by the Nazis into sexual slavery in concentration camps during World War II. There were about 35,000 of them.
I did know that, actually.
Yeah, and the band did too, so that's clearly why it was an ironic title. There's nothing joyful about the actual Joy Division.
No, and not much joyful about the band either, to be honest.
In fact, the lead singer Ian Curtis actually killed himself, didn't he, in 1980, I think?
Yeah, about then. Yeah, that's when they changed to New Order.
Yeah, indeed. That's why they changed. That's right.
Now, did he kill himself because they were a failure or because they were successful, Honk? Or because he'd been listening to too much Joy Division?
Too much Joy Division. Well, that's one possibility. I mean, that'll do it, right? But he also had issues. He had severe... It's a tragic story. You know, he was early 20s, like 23 or something, wasn't
Right.
he? He had severe epilepsy, which it's now thought he was not well medicated for. He was married very young. He had a kid. He was in love with somebody else.
Right.
Very depressed, did a lot of drugs. The drugs didn't interact well with the epilepsy medication.
Right.
He got really depressed and he hanged himself.
Right, okay.
Hanged himself right before their first American tour. It's a very sad story.
Oh, right. Well, let's get back to the T-shirt, Honk, before I jump off a bridge.
Fair enough, yeah. Even I was headed for the exit at that point. The point is that good old Liberal leader Sussan Ley is trying to say that Albo, by wearing a perfectly unremarkable and very well-known band T-shirt, is somehow supporting the concept of women being sex slaves.
I mean, Honk, Albo is many things, in particular beige.
Very beige.
He's clearly not a Nazi.
No, he's not a Nazi. Sussan Ley herself, don't forget, famously has an extra S in her name.
That's
so
right.
Instead of Susan, it's Sussan.
Yeah, it's sort of spelt Suzanne, but pronounced Susan.
Yeah.
Or Susan.
Yeah.
This goes with that at Susan.
So S-U-S-S-A-N. So Sussan, S-U-S-S-A-N Lee, saying that Albo's a Nazi because he wore a Joy Division T-shirt makes about as much sense as Albo saying Sussan Ley is a Nazi because she put SS in her name.
Politically speaking, Sussan Ley / Lee and the Libs in general are struggling, aren't they, Honk? I mean, Labor has a massive majority, and most of the women in the Liberal Party aren't actually in the Liberal Party
Not anymore, no.
They're now teals.
Yeah, all these independent female candidates who would have been Liberal candidates who are now federal members of Parliament.
At large. So what was Sussan Ley thinking with this line of attack?
Well, this is something you and I were trying to work out. And what I find funny is that we had these completely different reactions to it. When you first drew my attention to the story, I thought Lee was trying to appeal to a conservative base by implicitly accusing Albo of being anti-Semitic, given his stance on recognising Palestine and so forth.
Yeah, and I had a completely different take. I thought she was trying to be hyper-woke by linking a very well-known and uncontroversial band to the thing it was named after, taking things literally rather than ironically being a hallmark, in my view, of the stupid version of wokeness worldwide, a complete inability to understand irony.
As we said, the fact that neither of us could work out what she was actually trying to say, in fact, had totally different opinions, is surely a giveaway.
Not to mention, if we could work it out, it would still be stupid.
And she had a much easier target in any event, which was surely to attack Albo on the ambassador to the US, Kevin Rudd, who, despite whatever he says, Rudd surely is really long-term persona non grata with Trump, because before he became ambassador, he trashed Trump on social media, said he was a threat to Western democracy and so forth.
Yeah.
And surely
Which
long-term...
he was correct about, by the way.
Yeah. And long-term, he probably cannot sensibly be kept on as the ambassador to the US.
Although, personally, I like that Albo has kept Rudd as ambassador. I hate Rudd, but I like that Albo is subtly saying we won't be bullied by Trump.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I can't stand Rudd either. Although it would be nice if Rudd would do something else stupid so we could sack him for that instead. Can't Albo make him ambassador to, like, Tajikistan or somewhere like that, Chad?
If Sussan Ley had any brains or at least street sense, and bear in mind, she added the extra S to her name in her quote-unquote punk phase.
Oh, yeah.
So she's actually liked punk music. She added any brains. She wouldn't go the Nazi route at all. She'd just criticise Albo for promoting a band that spelt the death of drummers and guitars.
That's quite right.
I mean, in my humble opinion, Joy Division produced morbid, new wave slop. Their most famous song is Love Will Tear Us Apart, which I always hated. And it spawned a legion of imitators, including themselves.
Yeah, as New Order.
Indeed. Plus the Simple Minds, Early Cure, Echo and the Bunnymen, all the tosh that killed punk and plagued my musical childhood, at least until December 1986, Honk, when I discovered the Rolling Stones.
We bring to it a certain context, because if you're a kid in Australia in the late 80s into the 90s, there was a thing in Australia that's called the Triple J Hottest 100. Remember, for about 20 years, Love Will Tear Us Apart was number one every year, so they just tortured you with it all the time.
Yeah, I'm still scarred by Don't You Want Me by the Human League.
Oh,
which
my
was
God.
Morbid moaning by some English loser going, don't you want me, baby? Don't you want me? Whoa, 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 whoa. And it sounded like it was sung by Ian Chappell as done by the 12th Man. Don't you want me, Gibbo?
Yes, Gibbo. I think I don't want you.
Of course she doesn't want you. You're miserable.
You're fucking whining. Look, Gibbo, it was... look, Gibbo, there was a time when I might have wanted you, but it was a very different time then. The standards are very... It takes me back to a concert I saw of Joy Division back in Barbados in 71. And
Exactly.
But as you always say, though, Henry, on this show, at least we have the luxury of worrying about the most minor possible shit in Australian politics, like band T-shirts, rather than the actual existential crisis that is gripping the USA.
That's right. I mean, a listener, David from Pan Bondi, part of our Bondi hotspot in Sydney, along with Belinda from Bondi, he asked, can we still call the US the land of the free? Free of what?
Standards, rules, the law, decency.
Yeah, not drummers and guitarists like Joy Division.
No. Well, that itself would be a beautiful transition to our usual starting segments, American Carnage, Henry. But we normally do first shout-outs to listeners, so we should start there. Where are we going this week?
Well, of course, Honk, we've got loyal listeners all over Australia.
Dare I ask?
No, don't even bother. Unless someone's going to Darwin on holidays in the middle of summer, which is the worst possible time, I think we're cooked there for the year. But we have appeared around the world this week. We've been in Paris, the City of Light.
City of Love, isn't it?
I think it's both, actually.
Is it?
I think it's the City of Light and the City of Love.
It's not the City of the Louvre, that's for sure.
City of City of
That's
That's a bit north. Dallas, Texas, the City of Oil.
and presidential assassinations.
Honky, you've got to move on.
Can't move on. I need to know.
And Zierikzee in Zeeland, in Holland.
Is that Old Zealand?
It is actually, yeah. Abel Tasman was the first honky to find New Zealand, and then Cook anglicised the name. So.
Captain Cook, right.
And we have a couple of other cool locations this week, honky, in Limassol, which is in Cyprus.
I've been there.
Have you?
Been there. I have, yeah. That's where the airport is, I think.
Ah, so somebody's in Cyprus Airport.
I think so.
And Kernov in Czechia.
That's not Chechnya. Where's Czechia?
Czechia, the old Czech Republic.
Oh.
Well, the actual Czech Republic.
Oh, is that what it's called? Czechia.
I think that's Czech for...
You mean they themselves don't call it in English?
It's not the
Czech
Chechens. No,
Right.
That's right. Why don't they speak English?
I don't know.
Honk, I want to make a special mention of Santa Ana in Southern California, which is famous for its hot, dry winds and, of course, a very important strain of grass.
I knew about the winds, but not the grass.
Well, Honky, Santa Ana cooch is a fine-textured, drought-tolerant, hard-wearing, low-growing, quick-recovering grass often used on golf courses and cricket pitches. So it's absolutely vital to the Australian way of life, particularly to the Henry Lee way of life.
I was sure you were going to say, when you said Santa Ana cooch grass, I was sure you were going to say, like, very important to Allman Brothers concerts. Jams by Fish.
Yes, it's not very voluminous though. And Honky, we've got lots of good listener feedback this week, so why don't you kick us off?
So we have a new listener, Dave, from Sydney, and he said, quote, "This is fucking superb."
Oh, that's a nice thing to say.
Yeah, but then he went on to say, quote, "You and Henry," as in Honk and Henry, "are a match made in Rafa or some other hellhole." And then we also heard again from Melbourne Mel. This is Mel of Hubby in the Hot Tub fame. And she said, quote, "Sitting on a train with someone speaking to a person on speakerphone, so tempted to join the conversation like the person in your podcast last week."
Do it, Mel, do it. Well, you have to be a bit careful just in case people from the train start joining you in the hot tub.
On the subject of the hot tub, she also messaged, quote, "We will have to change it up next time around and find somewhere else weird to listen together. This weekend will be a campsite in the Yarra Valley before the Crowded House concert."
A lovely spot, Honky. Long weekend in Melbourne, of course, with Cup Day on Tuesday. I can see it now. Bottle of Yarra Valley Chardonnay, a warm sleeping bag, and in a few months' time, a baby called Neil.
Or twins, Neil and Tum. He's not in the band anymore, but just... honorifically. Melbourne Mel and Hubby in the hot tub, they're quickly becoming like Instant Experts' central romance, aren't they?
Well, maybe, but Honk, there's also a frisson brewing between the acting Chief Justice
Yes.
and Lady Rebecca of Centennial Park, both show regulars. Now, listeners will recall that Lady Rebecca left us a voicemail from the war zone of Portland a couple of weeks ago in which, despite the strain of battle around her, she demonstrated perfect enunciation.
I do remember that.
And the acting Chief Justice was quite taken by her efforts and requested via us an introduction for some quote-unquote elocution lessons. And now Lady Rebecca has replied. And she said in a text to the show, "Henry and the Honk, surely you're not falling into that ancient snare, imagining an international dressage champion and war correspondent," that would be her, "can be reduced to a mere sex object. Perhaps, just perhaps, the acting Chief Justice isn't undone by a simple loin stir, but rather glimpses a nobler path, one paved with how now brown cow and Betty Botter's better butter, all in the earnest pursuit of a permanent middle perch on the bench." Unquote. What do you make of that, Honk?
Surely the lady, I should want to pronounce it correctly, surely the lady doth protest too much. I think she wants to be undressaged by a member of the bench, by a member on the bench.
Well, tune in next week for more.
By the way, Melbourne Mel from the hot tub had even further feedback on the show.
Right, go on.
This is the last bit, I promise. She also said, quote, "The most amazing thing for me is how many front runners there are each week for Cunt of the Week." Said, "I still can't get over Trump not winning for taking a giant shit from a plane on protesters." We talked about last week. There was any number of those nutbags who could have nabbed it. What an era to create a podcast. New, incredible and unbelievable material each and every week. You could not make this stuff up. And Prince Andrew, the gift that keeps on giving.
And Honky is given again this week.
He has.
More of that later in the show. Meanwhile, a somewhat controversial message also from Belinda of Bondi, who we mentioned earlier. She said, "Good episode this week. Educational."
Educational? Who does this woman think she is? Belinda of Bondi, how dare you?
Better than Pam of Bondi Honk. She accused us of being leftist, globalist, Antifa, narco-terrorists.
Well, at least we're not in the Epstein Files.
The traditional owners of the president,
Yes.
which is still on her desk, by the way.
She's a very busy woman. I'm sure they'll be released any minute now, very soon.
Now, speaking of Antifa, Honk, the catch-all term for the anti-fascist movement, Trump has now designated a terrorist organisation, despite the fact that fascism is generally regarded in the civilised world as a bad thing. And despite the fact that Antifa is not, in fact, an organisation.
Yeah, apart from that, yeah.
We got this from another regular, Chook from Sawtell, up on the beautiful New South Wales North Coast, who found himself at Sawtell Bowling Club watching Sky News.
Yes.
He writes, just heard some neocon expert on Sky News, brackets the only entertainment option at Sawtell Bowling Club, sadly, close brackets, describe Antifa as nothing but a bunch of fascists.
Fucking idiots.
Interesting take, you'd have to say. Some bloke called Douglas Murray, definitely a crook, fuckwit, moron contender, loving your work as usual. Chook.
That's nice.
And a perfect transition, Honky, to American carnage.
Yes.
So much to choose from this week, but we are going to start with a story suggested by yet another listener and another regular, Roy Boy.
Oh, yes.
Who, on the back of our discussion last week of the White House ballroom, drew our attention to the White House website and the timeline it is showing about the development of the White House since George Washington.
This is true.
This is true. I swear on a stack of Bibles and not Trump Bibles.
I was going to say Trump
Real
Bibles,
ones.
but it's not true.
This is taken straight from whitehouse.gov. And if you don't believe me, look it up yourself. The official White House website.
You're going to put it on the show notes to show it's true.
Let's do that. Now, bear with me because there's a bit to get through.
Okay.
The timeline starts as you'd expect. It's sort of normal stuff for a historical display you'd
Yep.
find on a website or in a museum. So, for example, 1791 to 1800, design plans commence. George Washington selects the site, chooses a design, 8 years of construction.
Yep.
Rebuilding after War of 1812.
Because the British destroyed the White House, didn't
They
they?
did. They burned it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they burned it down. 1824, edition of the South Portico by President Monroe.
Okay.
1829, edition of the North Portico by Andrew Jackson.
Right. So setting up the idea, as you said, the White House continually evolves.
Right. Things change, people change, hairstyles change.
To quote the great cinematic masterpiece Top Secret.
That's right. A favourite movie of mine from the 80s. Anyway, so it goes on. 1902, edition of The West Wing by Teddy Roosevelt.
Yep.
1909, edition of The Oval Office by William H. Taft,
Yep.
generally regarded as America's worst president.
Was he Taft?
I think he was, wasn't he?
I think he was also the Chief Justice of the United States, wasn't
Or was
he?
I confusing him with somebody else?
I don't... Maybe he was bad. There have certainly been some shockers.
We'll have to go to the videotape on that.
There was the guy Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore.
Millard Fillmore was the one he had. It's a true story. Millard Fillmore had an epileptic wife, and this is before there was good medical treatment. So it states that as if she went to an epileptic fit, he would throw a tea towel like a napkin over her head. Nobody would notice during a state dinner. True story. Anyway, back to the development of the White House.
Okay,
Sorry.
so the Taft's presidency, the merits thereof TBD, but he added the Oval Office in 1909. FDR added the East Wing.
Yep.
Truman did a total reconstruction of the interior. Nixon added the briefing room in 1970 to 1973.
Okay, so far so good.
So far, so good. And then it skips forward to Bill Clinton.
So no Reagan or George H.W. Bush.
No Gerald Ford either.
Well, that's not that. I mean, he didn't get much time to remodel. He was only there for about. Did he have time to get the beer in the fridge cold? Did he? He was only there for an hour and a half.
No. So they go to Clinton on the website, and bear in mind, this is a timeline supposedly showing the evolution of the White House building.
Yep.
And we're at Bill Clinton.
Yep.
And this is what the White House website says about White House renovations in Bill Clinton's time.
Yep.
1998, Bill Clinton scandal. President Bill Clinton's affair with intern Monica Lewinsky was exposed, leading to White House perjury investigations. The Oval Office trysts fueled impeachment for obstruction.
No mention of renovation, Henry?
No, none.
Very strange. Surely I should read 1998, Bill Clinton added the presidential BJ closet. And also he did redecorate. He redecorated the carpet, didn't he?
I think it was the dress. I think it was the blue dress.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Anyway, so it goes on. It skips George W. Bush entirely and goes straight to Obama.
Yeah, and Trump hates Obama, obviously partly because he's black, but also because he's more popular and far more successful as a president.
That's right. And Obama also mocked him at the White House Correspondents' Dinner that time. And Trump
that's right.
so thin-skinned he couldn't take it.
Despite himself being the biggest mocker and bully of other people in politics ever. You know, Sleepy Joe, Crooked Hillary, Shifty Schiff, etc.
Exactly. So for the Obama-era renovation, it says 2012 Muslim Brotherhood visit.
What?
Obama hosted... This is a direct quote. Obama hosts members of the Muslim Brotherhood, a group that promotes Islamist extremism and has ties to Hamas.
Unbelievable.
And then for Biden, we have a photo of a decrepit-looking Hunter Biden. Hunter, not Joe, mind you, not the actual
so the
president.
son, not the president.
Yeah. And the caption, 2023, cocaine discovered. And it goes on. During Biden's administration, a US Secret Service agent discovered a small zippered plastic bag containing cocaine in the West Wing entrance lobby. Speculation has pointed to Hunter Biden, an admitted drug user. Additional evidence includes a laptop seized in 2019 which contains photos of frequent drug use alongside emails about foreign business dealings, brackets, Ukraine, China, close brackets, involving his father, Joe, while he was vice president.
It's amazing to me that Hunter Biden and Donald Trump Jr. aren't best friends, aren't they? Interests identical.
It's true. Trump hates Biden, of course, so much that he gave him another go on the website.
Well, he hates him because he kicked his ass in the 2020 election, legitimately.
That's right. He also hates him because he went senile first.
He's jealous.
But at least Trump's catching up.
Yeah.
So Biden gets another go on the website. The other Biden renovation note says 23-24, Trans Day of Visibility.
Fuck me dead.
It says, quote, the Biden-Harris administration hosts transsexuals at the White House in 2023 and goes on to establish the Transgender Day of Visibility on the same day as Easter Sunday in 2024.
As we know, Trump and crew hate trans people because they're small in number and have been marginalised for centuries. So obviously they pose an existential threat to the United States.
Anyway, the website then talks extensively about how Trump personally funded the flagpoles and how the Oval Office and new ballroom are funded by private donors.
These private contributions, they're basically bribes, right?
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
chip in some money for the ballroom, get looked after somewhere else.
That's right. And I'd also be very surprised in relation to the flagpoles if Trump paid a cent. He's famous for not paying his bills.
Yeah, well, maybe the flagpoles commemorate him putting his hand in his pocket for the first time. It's possible, isn't it?
Maybe.
And the Oval Office renos were basically painting it gold and making it look like the set of a porn film, right?
Yes. What would you call a porno set in the White House, by the way? The breast wing?
The anal office. Surely brings us to quick shots.
Indeed. Canada did some strong work this week. Canada, friend of the show. Tell us all about it.
Well, Trump talked about it a lot on the show. Has treated Canada like a pile of just horseshit since Trump came back to office at the start of this year. Slapped them with needless tariffs, telling them they should be the US's 51st state.
Yeah.
So this week, the governor of Ontario, Doug Ford, runs this fantastic ad.
Yeah, Ontario is Canada's most populous province, I think. Maybe nearly 40% of Canada lives there, and it's certainly the one that trades with the US the most. It's just across from New York, I think.
That's right. So Ford was very punchy the first time Trump hit them with tariffs. He threatened famously, as you said, New York, to cut off the electricity supply to parts of New York State.
Right, so what's Doug Ford done now?
Well, he's run this ad, which is a direct lift from a famous radio address on tariffs by President Ronald Reagan.
Right.
Certainly the most beloved Republican president of our lifetime.
Yeah.
This ad, here's a little snippet.
Throughout the world, there's a growing realization that the way to prosperity for all nations is rejecting protectionist legislation and promoting fair and free competition. When someone says, let's impose tariffs on foreign imports, it looks like they're doing the patriotic thing by protecting American products and jobs. And sometimes for a short while it works, but only for a short time. High tariffs inevitably lead to retaliation by foreign countries and the triggering of fierce trade wars. The result is more and more tariffs, higher and higher trade barriers, and less competition. Markets shrink and collapse, businesses and industries shut down, and millions of people lose their jobs. The memory of all this made me determined when I came to Washington to spare the American people the protectionist legislation that destroys prosperity.
Well, the Gipper speaks, Honk. He could hardly be clearer than that. How did Trump take it?
He took that the way he always takes it. He had a massive hissy fit. The US and Canada were just about to have trade negotiations.
Yeah.
He cancelled them or suspended them. And he claims that the ad was fake, that it was AI, and that, in fact, Reagan loved tariffs.
But it was a direct lift from Reagan's speech.
All that ad had done is take different bits of it and slightly reordered them.
Right.
But it's the same fucking ad. And it reflects Reagan's real view, which was that tariffs fucking suck. And they suck for Americans. And again, we haven't recapped this for a while. I mean, you're our economics correspondent. Just remind us, why do tariffs suck for ordinary people?
Well, tariffs are a tax on imported goods that increase the price to consumers of those goods. They're paid by the importer, but basically they're passed on to the consumer, sometimes in part, but usually in full.
So give us an example of that.
Right, so about 16% of total goods consumed in the US are imports. So if the average tariff is 10%, it's effectively a 1.6% national sales tax. If the tariff is higher than 10%, which it is for a lot of countries, the tax is higher.
And also this whole thing of Trump's, it's not just idiotic because he's had a hissy fit and because Reagan plainly hated tariffs, but it also gives the lie to this idea there's any economic principle to any of this. Because if Trump can and does do like what he's just done, which is have a tantrum when his feelings are hurt and then raise tariffs on people, it just shows it's all a crock of horse shit.
That's right. It's about power for Trump and pushing other people around.
The good news is Trump was almost right. There actually, since all this, has turned up a AI fake Reagan clip about tariffs and owns Trump just beautifully. Have a listen to this.
Trump says, I love tariffs. Well, I don't. He's a fucking idiot. He says the Canadian ad was AI. Well, guess what isn't AI? Me, motherfucker. Fuck you and your whack-ass daddy.
That's outstanding, Honky. Now, Honk, time for entertainment news. What have you got?
Well, the right way to begin is this way with this little piece of audio. Have a listen.
Mr. Foley, 3 o'clock Exeter, Dragonfly. Yes, good luck. Jolly good luck with it.
What was that about the 3 o'clock at Exeter, Basil?
Oh, some horse he's going to bet on, I expect.
Got a horse, have you? What's his name?
Did you catch it, Joe?
Dragonfly, Major.
Going to have a flutter, Foley?
No.
No, Basil doesn't bet any more, Major, do you, dear?
No, I don't, dear, no. No, that particular avenue of pleasure has been closed off.
And we don't want it opened up again, do we, Basil?
No, you don't, dear.
Oh my God, Honk, I love that scene. That, of course, is Sybil Fawlty in maybe the greatest sitcom of all time, Fawlty Towers, co-starring John Cleese, co-written by Cleese and his then wife, Connie Booth. And Sybil was played by the great Prunella Scales, who died this week, aged 93.
Yeah, an incredible actor. I mean, not just from this show, but from many great stage performances in other films and television. And truly one of the greatest comic performances in TV history, this character. So great, in fact, we're probably going to sneak in a couple more of Sybil's greatest lines at the very back of the show.
Basil. A very apt clip, that one, actually, as well, Honk, given it's Melbourne Cup week. So thank you for that. The other big entertainment news of the week, which grabbed me, was the release of Lily Allen's new album called West End Girl. It's her first in 7 years, and it's gone nuts. Talk us through it.
Well, as you said, it was released this past week, but interestingly, like almost no promo, no fanfare. And as you said, it's set streaming and social media alight. Just millions of listeners, rave reviews, but above all, it's also a fantastic album.
It is, yeah.
It's really touched a chord, I think, above all, with women aged anywhere from 18 to 180.
Right.
The entire album is about Lily Allen's split after a very short marriage from the Stranger Things star David Harbour.
But he's going out to promote Stranger Things now, isn't he?
Yeah.
Hopefully the promotional tour is not on planet Earth for his sake and ours.
It's going to have to be on the planet Mars. Because for the unfamiliar, the new album's about Lily's discovery that David Harbour, the new husband, was basically fucking every single woman that he met. And this was after talking Lily into an open marriage almost immediately into their time together because she got cast in a play in London while they were living in New York.
Where they'd moved, I think, at his request because she's English.
Yeah, and she just got hired for a play and he immediately turned around and said, well, we have to have an open marriage.
Right.
Anyway, we should have a listen. This is just one little snippet of one song. This is a song called Tennis, but this is a great demonstration of what the album's like.
For a fool, so I wrote you test, and now I regret. I can't get my head round how you've been playing tennis. If it was just sex, I wouldn't be jealous. You won't play with me.
And who the fuck is Madeline? Who's Madeline? Who's Madeline? Who's Madeline? No, but who is Madeline, actually?
Yeah, and the whole album is like that. I mean, my ears nearly fell off listening to it, Honk. It's absolutely scathing.
Yeah.
It makes a Taylor Swift breakup song sound like Barbara Cartland.
It That's me. What I find so funny is the calculation this guy made. Like, I fall in love with this beautiful, very talented woman, but above all, who's a highly talented singer-songwriter, every song of whose for 20 years has been a tell-all autobiographical song. But if I get caught boning every woman I can, she won't write a whole album about it, right? That would never happen, right?
Right, it's the Taylor Swift doctrine. If you date Taylor Swift, you know you've got to be on an album. So
Don't fuck it up.
you're well advised to be nice to her.
Yeah.
Ironically, though, Honk, Lily Allen's first husband dubbed her for cheating. A little bit of karma, but I think they're all friends now, to be fair.
You'd fucking hope so for his sake.
Yeah.
He's got some hurting coming.
Anyway, to do our usual Molly Meldrum impersonation, it's unmissable stuff. West End Girl, check it out.
You meant to say, do yourself a favour.
Oh, do yourself a
Do
favour.
yourself a favour.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's a great album. Henry, mention of Lily Allen's fuckwitted ex-husband does bring us very neatly to Cunt of the Week.
Indeed.
Music, please.
I'm a cunt.
Now, I was about to say count down the cunts or cunt down the counts? Before we cunt down the counts, we must give an honourable mention to the man who must surely now be the patron saint of Cunts of the Week, which is Prince Andrew.
Yes, indeed. And he would win again, except I think we're making the rules up on this segment as we go, but I think
Definitely.
pretty clearly you can't win it twice in a row, or in his case, 3 times in a row
Or forever.
out of 3 or 4 weeks,
Unless we run out of cunts.
which seems highly unlikely.
Yes, but for Prince Andrew, just horrifically embroiled, as we've talked about before, in the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal, it has only gotten worse. We talked about last week, his reputation is already just shot to hell by this new posthumous memoir of the Epstein sex trafficking victim, Virginia Giuffre, very tragically took her own life in Australia last year. Now, that we'd already reported had cost Prince Andrew the title of Duke of York, and yesterday, Charles stripped Prince Andrew of his royal titles altogether.
Wow, so now he's just, Andrew Windsor?
Yeah, now he's just the rapist formerly known as Prince.
He's a sick version of the old joke, isn't he, Honk? About the shepherd in the village and his cups in the pub complaining one night to whoever will listen. He goes, I tended the flock for the village for 30 years. 30 years.
Yeah.
I gave them lambs to eat, meat on the table.
Gave him wool.
I fucked one goat and that's all they ever talk about.
Andrew didn't even tend the flock, though. He went straight to the goat, specifically the kid. Didn't he? So, Prince Andrew, honourable mention, but one more honourable mention, also representing England, is Rhiannon Evans. Now, we've all in our lives had a crazy ex-boyfriend, crazy ex-girlfriend. There's crazy ex-girlfriend, and then there's Rhiannon Evans.
Right, I don't know.
She has made UK legal history.
Don't know the name.
You will in a moment. You'll never forget it. Rhiannon Evans has made legal history in the UK as the first person ever convicted of the crime of, quote, cyber farting. For sending multiple videos. Now, this is the weird bit, but it wasn't like her boyfriend left her for a new girl. She was taunting the ex-girlfriend of her current boyfriend. So she was taking videos of her own butt and videoing herself violently breaking wind and sending them over and over again to her boyfriend's ex-girlfriend. True story.
So she gets arsehole of the week.
Arsehole, that's for sure. It's very, as you said to me just off the air, very close to, almost,
Close to the cunt of the week.
but not quite.
more than
Adjacent.
Arsehole territory.
Adjacent to the cunt of the week. Which brings us to our finalists. Now, you've got one and I've got one. They are both Australian this week, and they are both squarely in the category, which you've talked about before on this show, of you had one fucking job. And if the Olympics ever introduces fucking up as a competitive event, God help any other country trying to compete with Australia after this. Take it away with number one, please, Henry.
Thank you, Honk. This one I love. It's final exam time for Year 12 students, school leavers all over the country, including each of our sons. And in Queensland, at Brisbane State High, there are 2 whole classes prepping for their ancient history HSC exams who've now had to apply for special consideration because the school taught them about the wrong Caesar. Now,
What?
most people, when you hear Caesar, you're thinking Julius Caesar.
Surely. Who the fuck?
He's
who
got
were
the
they,
play, he's got Et tu, Brute.
who were they taught about?
Augustus Caesar.
Not the salad.
What's he got? August. That's all he's got. Anyway, so the school has taught them about Augustus Caesar, not Julius Caesar, which they only found out about 2 days before the exam.
And this is not the worst of it. You told me, like, it's not just that school, right?
Well, there are 8 schools and counting in Queensland who have been found to have taught students about the wrong Caesar for the final year ancient history exam. So
Unbelievable.
now the kids are in deep shit.
Yeah. There's a lesson here, right?
Well, those who don't learn ancient history, Honk, are doomed to repeat it.
Now, the other number one is also not only an Aussie affair, but a Queensland affair.
Right.
Coral Expeditions is a cruise ship company of some 40 years standing, a run that is surely about to come to a bitter end, and deservedly so. They have killed an 80-year-old passenger, get this, by leaving her behind on Lizard Island in the Great Barrier Reef when the ship reboarded and sailed away.
What?
It gets worse. The woman, this old lady, had paid Australian $80,000, a US $50,000, for a luxury 60-day tour. This was
trip of a lifetime.
Trip of a lifetime. This was day 2 of a 60-day tour. Day two. Ship had only 120 passengers. It's got 46 crews. So in other words, more than one crew member for every 3 passengers.
Yeah.
They still managed to leave her behind on the island.
Right.
According to news reports, it's not clear why no one noticed she wasn't on board the boat when it departed Lizard Island, except it's clear to us because the cruise ship company is run exclusively by cunts.
Right. But didn't this happen years ago on the Barrier Reef?
happened years ago.
They left a couple of scuba divers
Just
behind and
learn nothing.
Right.
And the operator, Coral Expeditions, advertises Lizard Island as a place that passengers can swim, snorkel, take a hike to, cooks look for panoramic views.
Yeah, presumably not to be left alone to die of exposure.
And then the news is that the cruise apparently going to be questioned when the ship docks in Darwin, which was scheduled for November 2.
Right, well, maybe we can get a listener at least.
There we go. Swings them every cloud. Except I think we now hear the schedule's been tweaked and the ship's now going to dock in Gaza in the year 2037.
Yeah, well, Gaza should be quite nice by then.
Lovely. And the CEO of the cruise ship company, whose name I'm guessing is Mr. Larry Cunt, said, quote, "We will continue to offer support to the woman's family through this difficult process."
Right, the difficult process of them filing for bankruptcy, presumably, or the difficult process, even more difficult process, Honk, of reanimating the family's 80-year-old mother.
Fucking hell. Fire up the car battery. Anyway, you got to call it a tie, I think. 2 cunts of the week, both from Queensland. Queensland Education Department, Coral Expeditions in liquidation, joint cunts of the week. We salute you.
Oh, Honky, I think you'd be a little harsh on the high school there. It's not like they left Caesar on an island
That's true.
and killed him. They're still remembering him, Honk. They didn't forget him. They remembered both of them 2,000 years later. So I'm giving it to the Lizard Island killers. Okay, folks, that's all we have time for. Again, we're not going to do much sport this week in this interregnum between footy and cricket seasons. Although, Honky, I did catch innings 16 through 18 of Game 3 of the World Series on Tuesday, which was the equal longest game of the World Series ever.
Right.
And the Japanese superstar Shohei Ohtani got on base 9 times in the game, also a record. He got to first base 5 times, second base twice, and home twice as well.
Not since horny teenagers 17 has anyone done that in one night, surely. Is that the one? That's the one, isn't it? Where the sorority orders the, 27 pizzas and then no one's got any money to pay for the pizzas. Now, speaking of such things, Henry, we have to lend our voice, don't we?
Oh, yes, the full weight of our voice, Honk.
The full volume, I think, to the chorus of support for the Aussie champion dart thrower Tim Pusey, who has been banned from using his preferred nickname.
Right, which is what?
The Magnet.
Well, surely Tim the Magnet Pusey won't offend anyone.
Yeah, I think it's more about him calling himself Tim the Pusey Magnet. That's a problem.
Very good. That reminds me, actually, I'm doing old stories this week. It reminds me of the old cricket story about a New Zealand medium pacer of the 1960s.
Yeah, go on.
This is a true story. So this guy's name was Bob Cunis.
Okay.
Played about 20 tests for the Kiwis. And he comes on to bowl one day and the commentator is trying to work out what he bowls. And he's not quick enough to be a fast bowler and he doesn't spin it, so he can't be a spinner. He gets hit all over the park. Finally, it stumps. The commentator comes back on to summarise the day's play. A guy called John Arlott, who was the most famous English cricket commentator of his day. And he memorably observes, as for Cunis, his bowling, like his name, was neither one thing nor the other.
One of the great calls in sporting history.
Indeed. Okay, well, we said we wouldn't do sport, but we did it anyway. So that's truly now all we have time for.
No Melbourne Cup tips for us?
Yeah, well, whatever horse I didn't back, obviously. But I'll say the 2 internationals, Honk, Al Riffa and Maidan. Find us in all the usual locations, especially TikTok and Instagram. Please share us on socials, WhatsApp groups, you name it, and rate us in the Spotify and Apple Podcasts apps. It helps us grow the show.
It does. And also, as we say every week, please check out our show notes, which are a rundown of each week of what's in the show. From those show notes, you can send us a text like other people have this week, and we'll read them on the show. You can send us a voicemail direct from those show notes and we'll play it on the show. And also, as we always say, read our show notes for incredibly stupid jokes that Henry, despite all my best, including our legal efforts, insists upon writing in the middle of the night. I don't know what he's thinking he's doing.
Now, Hulk, we've got a handful of episodes left this year, but we will be back next week at the usual time of early Saturday morning, Australian Eastern Summer Time. But meantime, we like to finish with some audio of some crookery, fuckwitticism or moronification. What have you got this week?
Well, by the time this goes out, Oasis will have played their first Melbourne concert, which is their first of 5 Australian shows.
That's right. We're going in Sydney next weekend. It's an Instant Experts field trip, off-site, love-in, corporate strategy, retreat.
It is.
You name it. We're doing it all.
We are doing it all. And in tribute, we thought we would offer this cover of the Oasis classic Wonderwall. And it is fun and a bit silly. But unusually for us at the end of the show, it's also musically very good.
Right.
This is a guy called Joseph Tawadros, who's an Egyptian-born Australian, who turns out, I just discovered, was school captain at the high school which is down the street from where I live.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he also studied at University of New South Wales, where we both studied too, the same university, Henry.
Right.
He is regarded, although he's Australian, as being one of the world's greatest oud players. The oud is a Middle Eastern string instrument. It's like in the terrain of a lute or a balalaika.
Right, he's bringing the loot back. I like
He
that.
is bringing the loot back, and he is pretty incredible at it. But thank you for your company. Please enjoy Joseph Tawadros' Egyptian Aussie take on the Oasis classic Wonderwall, and we will be back next week because, as Henry always says,
stupid never sleeps.
Today is going to be the day that I'm gonna throw it back to you. Right now, you should somehow realize what you got to do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeats, so we're on to see that the fire in your heart is out. I know you heard all before and never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the road we have to walk are winding too tough. And all the light we lead us there are blinding. I can't see. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. I said maybe you're going to be the one that saved me. Aywa habibi. And after all, yes, for me please, you're my fella. Yummy.
Basil? Do you really imagine, even in your wildest dreams, that a girl like this could possibly be interested in an ageing, brilliantine stick insect like you?
You know, it's all right when they have the life force, but Mother, well, she's got more of the death force, really. She has these, well, morbid fears they are. Vans is one. Rats, doorknobs, birds, heights, open spaces, confined spaces. It's very difficult getting the space right for her, really, you know. Footballs, bicycles, cows. And she's always on about men following her. I don't know what she thinks they're going to do to her. Vomit on her, Basil says.
I mean, where are the pens? I mean, would you believe it? I mean, there are no pens here. I mean, this is supposed to be a hotel. But what are they doing in there?
I put them there.
Why?
Just sign there, Mr. Walt, because you're always losing them, Basil.
I am not always losing them. People take them.
Well, they don't take them from me.
They wouldn't dare. Well, I'm sorry I didn't guess that you'd suddenly done that after 12 years, dear. I'm afraid my psychic powers must be a little bit below par this morning. There we are.
Don't be silly, Basil. It's written there quite clearly on the top of the box.
Pens? Looks more like Bens to me.
Well, when Ben comes, you can give it to him.
You put Basil in the ratatouille!
He's from Barcelona.